Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? Man, this weekend went fast. It went so fast. Hope everybody had a great weekend. And, we're talk about anything you want to talk about, but obviously the big news this week being that Tata officially is now gone. And, we talked about that last week, but now he's made official notice, and that all rumors suggest Mascherano is a done deal. And so we could talk about that tonight or anything else you want to talk about as well. And Ed will jump in when he has time. And so he'll get on soon, hopefully. But as always, get busy in the chat and we'll say hello to you guys in just a few minutes. Again, busy weekend. Today went and saw Gladiator 2, had lunch with my son, and then I went down to Miami. So we'll talk a little bit about all that stuff a little bit later. But first, let's say thank you to Caneswear. Caneswear is where you need to go to get all your Inter Miami gear. Get all your Messi merchandise. They have the messiest wall in all of South Florida. Right there in Davie, Florida, on University Drive, just south of 595. If that's too far for you to drive, just go to caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free. So get in there and get yourself some Inter Miami gear. Support local. Speaking of supporting local, you want to buy or sell some house? It's a property. House, property, whatever you got. Contact Mia Rodrigues, 754-269-6923. She speaks Portuguese, English, and Spanish. So trilingual. You could scan the QR code there as well. So if you want to buy or sell anything, give her a call. You'll get the best treatment. All right. And as always, you want to leave us a voicemail, you could do that. Call 786-474-4435. So I see some comments already about Orlando. So, yep, Orlando won. Apparently, they beat Atlanta. I did not watch the game. But what was that, yesterday? I think it was. Yesterday I went to, here in Coconut Creek, the area that I'm in, there is a local brewery I've been meaning to go called Rule G. And so I went there yesterday, spent a few hours there at a little event, tried some local craft beer. They have a beer called Coconut Creek. It was pretty good. So did that instead of watching any MLS this week. Anyways, as I'm killing time, it looks like Ed is here. Oh, let me assign him. He is going to be guest number 1. There he is.
Peter Brown.
What's happening, Ed?
Oh, man, it's always running behind schedule, but I got here.
By the hair on your chinny chin chin.
Oh, man, and I got plenty of those. Great ones, too.
How was your weekend so far?
Good, man. It was, I went to a game on Saturday. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hadn't been to one. I got invited, so I was like, hey, let me go check it out. Since there's no Inter Miami games anymore, might as well do that.
I went to a game, I don't know, probably in early 90s was the last time I went to a game. Kind of like back when they were the deal, when they were winning all the time.
Yeah. They're pretty good this year, too.
Yeah, I know.
They only lost one game, so.
Nice.
That's good.
Well, if you want any merchandise, go to Caneswear. That's where the name comes from. So go to Caneswear for University of Miami stuff, too. They have a great selection of Inter Miami, but the majority of the store is University of Miami. Let's be honest. So
I didn't run into them. I figured I'd see them somewhere, but they probably have
they're there. They're there. But it's a big stadium.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's a big stadium. So, yeah. So that was there on Saturday, and then there was, I think, a Dolphins game there today, I think.
Today, yeah, there was a Dolphins game. So that was the last, I guess, of the season, last game, and the rest from here on, I guess, are Dolphin games.
All right. Oh, that was the last one. All right. Well, interesting. All right. So, let's say hi to those folks in the chat. First up, we got Damian Guzman was the first one in there that I see. Then Kata's here saying the Galaxy are doing well. Anthony Ornelas. Haven't seen you in a while. Congratulations to Orlando City. Is it? Do we say congratulations? Good evening from Eric Thomas. Eric, next time you're in town, I want to take you to that local brewery, Rule G. I went to this weekend. It was good. Local brewery in my neighborhood, like 2 minutes away from the house. And Chris Arjun, everybody's favorite photographer, is here. Miss Serna is here as well.
Mm-hmm.
B. King. Patrick Barnhill. Welcome, everybody. Baldwin is here as well. Go Orlando. Kata's asking about Gladiator 2. Worth it. It was very good. I saw Gladiator 2 today. It was very good. I liked it a lot.
Wow.
Sports Shorts is here asking if Mascherano is a good coach. We'll get into that. From the Canada up north, America's Hat, Richard Greenberg. Grumpy Esteban Dito is here. Stir some trouble, stir the pot a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Ash Preetam is here. Who else? Who else is checking in? And then we'll get to Tio Lewis, Mike V, hashtag Mascherano TBD.
Could be the term.
I think Mike V, you should already start the Mascherano out campaign. Start it now. Let's get started early. Mascherano out. Hashtag. What was your hashtag? Was Tata out, right? So now Mascherano out. Can we call him Mashy? Mashy? Can we call him? Can we make a nickname for him? Mashy?
Mashy's a good one.
I bet you that's not what he likes. But anyways. Ash Preetam says the A in AI stands for Argentina. Okay. I guess, Ash, you might be Argentinian by that comment?
No, I think it's Argentinian are all the players that we've got.
Yeah. We definitely have a very Argentinian club for sure. Mike V says his nickname is El Jefecito, but I like Mashy. Mashy. I like Mashy. I mean, it's more Americanized.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling he wouldn't like it. I don't know. Not to offend the coach before he even gets here, but. So,
yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Well, let's get into it now. Oh, wait. One more old one goal says, don't encourage Mike V. Kata says Mashi will be Messi's puppet. That is the thought. So my thought while I was hearing the news was Phil Neville all over again. And Roberto, who helps out on the Spanish channel, typed in Neville 2.0, which we had similar thinking, but I just liked his wording better and made more sense than writing out something like feels like Neville all over again. 2.0 just sums it up nicely. And that's where I figured we could start. Is Javier Mascherano, Phil Neville 2.0? Both coaches never before coming to Miami have never coached a senior club. Neither of them. They've only had whereas with Phil he had assisted with senior men's clubs, but he had never been the head coach. And he had coached at the women's World Cup level. And Mascherano has coached youth Argentinians and not had great success with that. I know he pissed off a lot of people with that. So, both guys getting the job because of friendship does feel like Phil Neville all over again.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ed?
It's for me. It's like I was hoping it was going to be Javi Hernandez, but I guess not, because he has more experience. He's won stuff, but yeah, Mascherano's like a unknown. he'll either make this team or break this team. And yeah, it's just for me. I actually want somebody else. I mean, it's obviously because he's friends with Messi,
Of course.
but Messi can manipulate him. It's basically going to be like you said, his puppet. It's doesn't give me too much confidence of what's going to come if he becomes the coach, man. And we needed somebody like Tata, who had a big, resume about the teams that he played for. But now, I'm afraid that we're going to have the best player in the world and not get the title that we want, Major League Soccer's Cup.
Yeah, I mean, and I actually talked a little about that today in something I did that, when we're think about the new stadium and whether Messi's going to play in the new stadium, will Mascherano ever coach in that new stadium, or will he be one and done? How quickly? This is a good question for Mike V. How quickly are you going to miss Tata if this Mascherano thing is a failure? Which, hey, look, the guy may be great, but he just doesn't have the track record right now to show. Managing, and there was something that was put out that I saw on Twitter from Franco Panizzo. He had basically said something to the effect that after listening to Julian Gressel recently speak, that the locker room was fairly divided. It's normal to have little cliques, but apparently it was pretty divided locker room, and so, that's really when you're coaching at this level. I think you're two jobs that are probably the most important. And of course, I'm probably really minimizing it, but it's team chemistry, getting everybody to buy in and have a lot of like kumbaya, don't encourage the cliques and all that kind of stuff. And then making substitutions at the right time, putting out the right players. I think those are your two most important jobs. The stuff that's happening during the week, you've got all your assistant coaches and your trainers and all that kind of stuff doing a lot of it, right? But you need to put out the best 11, make the right substitutions, and make sure there's team unity. And Mascherano's never done that. He's been in plenty of locker rooms, but he's never managed professionals that don't, it's different managing kids. You're impressed with Mascherano.
Of course, he's played with so many good teams.
Of course.
He's done, and he's got a great history as a player, but as a coach, damn, dude, it's just, you want Inter Miami to succeed, and just looking at his resume, it's kind of like, very few titles and very little experience on the senior level. So that's, I'm hoping for the best, but expecting the worst.
Yeah, comments in the chat. Damian Guzman wanted Xavi as well. And you got to imagine they talked to him, right? I mean, everybody talks about him being the number one candidate. Was he just not interested? What's the deal there? Because, the press conference that was on Friday, a lot of it I didn't understand it being in Spanish, but I do appreciate when Jorge Mas speaks, he goes both languages. I really appreciate that. And he did say, as far as the roster, which we could talk about this because that's not accurate, but he said there are no financial restrictions. I think that was his wording. No financial restrictions. If there's no financial restrictions with players, which there is, there definitely should not be any financial restrictions with the coach. So, for example, if Xavi was asking for too much money, which I'm just making up because I don't know, that shouldn't be a problem. You should, if you have no restrictions on a player, you should have no restrictions on the coach.
Yeah.
And I look for somebody who's got the experience. Like, as much as people may not have liked Tata, he got the experience. He's coached at the professional level many times. He won an MLS title, all that kind of stuff.
Well, the problem, especially one of the people are saying right here about Javier Hernandez, he apparently didn't get along with every single player, and I think he didn't get along with he got along with Busquets. He just didn't get along with there we go. In terms of every Barca bet.
So it might have been a tough coach that rubbed people the wrong way.
I'm thinking no. Well, he never. He was playing with both Busquets and Jordi Alba, but apparently he doesn't get along with Jordi Alba. That's what I've read.
Yeah, I did hear something about that. Yeah.
So that kind of sucks because, you know. Oh, look at that! Yeah, he got benched for a year because of. Wow, that's a big deal. You see what one world, one goal put?
No, no. But there's a lot of chats.
Well, yeah, basically saying that Jordy was benched because of him
Okay.
for a year. So that's
Chris Arjun is saying Tata never got fired. He stepped down due to personal issues. I know that's what he's saying, but we talked about it last week. You were there, I'm sure. Yeah, step down. We all know that's code for, you're quitting before you get fired, or it's a conversation where, hey, we'll let you go out gracefully.
Yeah,
we all know that's
I'm
code.
going to say it's personal.
Now, if we later hear that his wife has cancer or something like that, we're all going to feel bad that we said this. But,
right.
but I think I stand by. I think he got fired. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs says maybe Xavi wanted to stay, or Javi, however you say it, wanted to stay in Europe instead of going to MLS. That's probably the truth.
Right, I would imagine so. Yeah, but you never know. Maybe they asked the players, and Jordy said, "You know what? I don't want to get benched again. I want to play my next few years." And he just wasn't one of the guys that wanted to play me. So that might be a big reason.
Yeah, if we don't win the cup next year, a lot of questions will be asked. Baldwin says Mascherano won't be the coach by playoffs. He'll be fired before that. And something else that came up in the chat, and I agree with, it was sort of in passing mentioned a little bit, but oh yeah, Mr. Krabs says, what about Henderson rumors? He was leaving, but Ma said he's still here. So yeah, Michelle Kaufman asked a couple questions. One of the questions was, what's the future with Chris Henderson? And Jorge Mas went ahead and answered a bunch of things. And then at the very last second, and just said, oh yeah, he's still here. And just like a throwaway comment, like, yeah, he said it almost under his breath. It was like real low. Oh yeah, he's still here. It did not feel reassuring. It did not feel reassuring either when I have an article that I was looking at, and some of the quotes. Let me scroll down to where it says, here, the quote is that as far as finding the new coach, he said that they found out on Friday. They had a conversation with Tata Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Our coaching search started at 11:01. We had a list this here. Oops.
There we go. There we go. Construction.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that later. Oh, wait, Ed, you're not in here.
I'm gone again.
It's because you got to show up on time.
Yeah.
So I could set this stuff up.
I hear you, Peter Brown. It's just,
the article. It's, it says, we had a list. This is an extremely attractive job and position for a coach. We got it down to 3 final candidates by Tuesday, and we made David Beckham, Raul, my brother Jorge Mas, and myself made the decision 2 days ago. We will announce a coach in the next few days. The name that is not mentioned there anywhere is Henderson. Henderson should be involved in this. Now, I understand that Raul is Henderson's boss, but still, Henderson is definitely, since Raul came into the picture, has been given the back seat. And I don't understand why. Why the disrespect? What did Henderson do? Are they blaming him for so much for the lack of defense? And so they've kind of sidelined him a little bit. I mean, because obviously he does play a part in that, but he has to work with what he has within the MLS rules. So I don't know. The fact that he's not mentioned as somebody that's involved with the coaching decision is a little bit telling.
Yeah, and then one of the things about, I know Raul, there I am not again, Peter. I'm not here.
Yeah.
There I am. Yeah, one of the things that's, kind of...
This is the stuff, folks, I do before the show.
Yeah. I'm just concerned that Raul doesn't know all the
Ins and outs of
intricacies
MLS.
involved, yeah, with
Well,
MLS. So
to
that
that
worries.
point, I did read, and I forgot about this, but when Henderson came in, basically, or before Henderson, I don't remember, but they did bring in a woman, and I don't remember her name, but they brought in a woman who used to work for MLS corporate, and they brought her in specifically for following the rules. Like, hey, she worked for MLS corporate. She knows the rules better than anybody, so she's in there. So in defense, I guess in that case, if that's Chris Henderson's big attraction, that he knows the ins and outs of MLS, well, then so does she. Then in that case, they don't need him. But you need him more so because not only because of knowing how to work within the MLS, but knowing how to make trades in MLS, having the right connections for doing it for so long in Seattle. There's so many reasons that we could say that Chris needs to be here, but there does seem to be a level of disrespect. Here, Francisco Garcia says, power struggle, Raul won, Tata and Henderson lost. Yeah, maybe. And why? Why are they believing so much in this guy Raul? I remember when Raul was hired, and I looked up his history, and he did some work with Barcelona and all that, but his last job was at Zaragoza, which is the team that Jorge Mas co-owns, and he failed. He did not do well there. Yeah. And then they give him this job. So why is he the golden boy?
No idea. He hasn't done anything yet, and I guess he's gonna do stuff, and we're gonna find out how good this guy really is.
Kata mentions that Matt Doyle said his source said Miami's front office is like Game of Thrones. That's not a good environment, and that goes as much as we like Jorge Mas. I mean, that's on him. Right?
Right. It is on him. And it kind of sucks, Peter, if Chris Henderson, leaves. I don't want him to leave because I think he's done good with what little he's been giving. I think one of the big things for him was, trying to, balance out the budget as best he can. He did get fillers, and Marco Eloso would tell you, they weren't that great players, but he tried to do the best he could with what he had. So,
and as far as getting those international players, keep in mind a lot of that stuff Tata had a lot to say about. So there was a lot of Tata influence on those too. So it's not all on Henderson. So Mr. Krabs says, and I think maybe this tongue in cheek, Henderson's daughter plays for Fort Lauderdale women's team. Why would he leave? That's not enough of a reason to stay. His daughter can get on a plane and fly to Atlanta, which Richard Greenberg is talking about. Isn't he supposed to be going to Atlanta? I mean, that's the rumor. Which then he's teaming up with his buddy who he worked with up in Seattle. So
good old Garth
Lagerwey, yeah, who I can never remember his name, but you
do remember that he ate the old Garth.
Yeah. That's when I remember it. It was like a new Garth ate old Garth. Mr. Krabs thought that sounds a bit discriminatory if they don't want someone because they don't speak Spanish. Ooh. I don't know if that's the reason, but there is definitely a very, Spanish speaking. I could think of at least one person that works for Inter. This could get me in trouble. I could think of one person that works at Inter Miami that does not speak Spanish and should get fired, but somehow has kept his job. Not mentioning any names. Not mentioning names, but just saying.
He must be doing his job well, I think. That's probably fine.
Licking the right boots. See, where do we got in the chats?
They're trying to get you to say the name.
If you followed the show for a while, you could figure out who I'm talking about. I've mentioned it before. Lucas Skok, welcome. I don't remember this name before, but thanks for chiming in. Thank God the coach will be someone Messi knows. American coach with your football knowledge would destroy Messi and Miami. Oh, God, you're one of those. The coach is less important thing. Hang on, I'm not done. Not done reading this nonsense. The coach is less important thing. Miami needs 5 more good players. Luca, this is not Europe. We can't just buy all the players in the world that we want. We got to play within certain specific MLS guideline rules. And that means you're going to have some of these stinky Americans that you probably don't like on the team. And you know who's good at managing stinky Americans? Other stinky Americans. I'm not saying the coach has to be an American, but I do believe that it helps. It's not mandatory, but it helps to have some experience within the league. It's not, and they're saying more and more that that's not important. They don't feel like it's as important. Here, actually, let's go back to this article because it talks about that. Jorge Mas is asked about MLS coaching experience, and he says, experience in MLS would be good, but I don't think it's the principal criteria. I think it's more about how you manage the roster with unlimited potential. And then as far as what Leo has to say about this, I spoke to Leo on Saturday after he and I spoke to Tata. I asked him what is important to you and what is important to get the best out of our roster. How do we improve? Leo shared with me his thoughts, not dissimilar to what I explained. So, without a doubt, familiarity with Leo and other stars is an advantage in every aspect. And I agree. I want Leo to feel comfortable with the new trainer and coach. We went out and spearheaded that. Leo gave me what I asked him, which is input. But that was his involvement in engagement with me. So he's basically saying that Messi didn't pick the coach, but we asked for his, input. But, his input is going to be taken 1,000%. And I don't blame him. He's right. You want your players to be happy with the coach. But I personally like to have, and look, I always felt if you have a head coach with no MLS experience, you should have a very experienced MLS assistant, a coach on the roster. You have Javier Morales, who has MLS experience, so that could qualify. He played in the league and also has coached in the league with Inter Miami. So, Luca, continuing. I new to the show, so I want to give him some time. Messi never talked to a coach and said, do this and do that. I mean,
we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know
Luca,
that.
Were you in the locker room? If you were, you got pretty good access. I like that. I'm jealous if you have that kind of access. That's really cool. But I got a feeling you have.
I do. We have heard that that Tata gave him all his ears.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely listened to what Messi had to say. Asked him how he felt all the time. If he wanted to play, so he gave him that much. He had to say if he was playing or if he wasn't playing. So I think that's a big thing. It wasn't all up to the coach. So I think he has his influence. He is the best player in the world. So you do give him that privilege.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he says something, you're gonna listen naturally. But I don't know. I mean, making Messi happy is important, but hiring somebody only because he was a world-class football player and is Messi's buddy is not enough of a reason to give somebody a job.
We had that happen. The reason that you put up the picture too with Neville,
right?
He was definitely picked by David Beckham. And now it just feels like why Peter did the picture. It just feels like Mascherano, the same thing's happening with him.
It very well could be. I mean, at least on paper, that's 100% what it looks like. Now, he could prove to be a great coach. We just don't know. But in paper, it looks like it's nepotism. I don't know. Nepotism is through family, right? What is it when it's through friends? But it's the closest word we have, right?
Yeah. We don't have a thesaurus. If you guys got to, bust out the thesaurus and let us know what the word would be. But that's the closest, Peter. I think.
Yeah. Hirokata brings up a good point. Moss brags about getting the best of the best and gets another rookie coach. I mean, true, facts, 100%. Yeah. He continues later on. Messi shows how much he takes MLS seriously, only gives friends jobs. I mean, I wouldn't go that hard on Messi. I mean, look, Beckham did the same thing, right? So he did the same thing. You want to give your friends jobs and all that kind of stuff, and you want to feel happy. And look, he might truly believe that Mascherano can do the job. And he may be like, look, Mashy, don't worry. I got it. I will put the team on my back. And we will do it. He better. He better not get hurt.
I like that Mashy thing. It sounds pretty good.
Mascherano, Mashy. I'm going to make... I got one of those. Here's the thing, Ed. I'm always talking about weight and stuff like that. I've been eating way too much McDonald's lately because I've been doing things with the wife, like, going out to like a wine tasting the other night. I'm fancy like that. A wine tasting. And then there's no food at the wine tasting. They should have. But but you know what's close by? McDonald's. What goes with fancy better than McDonald's? You get the fancy wine, you got your pinkies in the air, and then you go get a Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and she got a Happy Meal. So yes, we have a few of those. We have the Yoshi one. You want the Yoshi one?
Yeah.
The kids want one?
My grandkids have them all over the place. So.
Yeah. All right. What else in the chat? Mr. Krabs says the pressure is on Mascherano because this is it for Messi and he will be his last coach. I mean, we all assume Messi will be here in 26 as well. Jorge Mas feels very, very confident that he will be here as well.
I think he will too. I don't think he's going back to Argentina. He could really go anywhere he wants, but I agree with you, Peter. I have seen some journalists say that they get the sense that he's not going to be here other than, to complete his contract. I doubt that, unless they're like his best friends, but I know they're not. So I think they're just, they want to be, the ones to say, there, I told you that he wasn't coming back.
Yeah. I like what Esteban Dito said here. Inter Miami 2025 will be equivalent to As the World Turns telenovela. So Apple TV they said they had made a deal, which I've never really seen the fruit of this deal. They made a deal with, I forgot the name of the company. It was like Box One or something like that. They're the company that made the F1 series on Netflix that people loved. I never watched it, but people loved it. And they made a deal with them to make, like content for each team, about each team, like a little documentary for each team. Well, we haven't seen any of it. Well, there were 2 documentaries about Messi, but that's it. And maybe they did those. But going down that road, why don't we get like this company to do like a what do they call the NFL one? Guys in the chat, you know which one what I'm talking about. The one that's HBO does for NFL. Anyways, follow the team around. But in this case, with this team, it'd probably have to be a Spanish telenovela type thing because you could put subtitles. That's about it because most people speak Spanish. But I mean, how about that? And you can follow the team around and watch it either succeed or implode. This would be the year to do it. This would be the year to follow them around with a camera and film everything and put it together for some sort of. And it could be either a celebration for Inter Miami or like a total hit piece and make us look terrible. We could go either way. What do you think, Ed? What's a good telenovela like that?
Oh man, there's so many out there, but I want a good name for it would probably this could get messy. Uh,
This could get, but how do you say it in Spanish?
Esto pues, I don't know, it's not the same because Messi is something else. Esto se puede poner. Yeah, it's like,
Change
yeah,
out Messi with Leo or something. I don't know.
well, I don't know, but just it doesn't work out. It's got to be in English, and go with that.
All right.
Go with an American title, and that's good. People will eat it up anyway. It's Messi.
Damian Guzman is like, if I'm a player, I would request a trade to get out. I mean, maybe if you're if you don't speak Spanish, you might want to get out. I mean, that sounds wrong to say, but I don't know. Eric Thomas trying to help us out. Cronyism is what we're trying to say. That's the word that is similar to what we're trying to get at. Cronyism is where they're hiring your friends. I've heard that in politics. So, I
like some of the titles they're trying to put up.
Oh, I didn't get that far down because I'm still behind. Okay, yeah, let's get to the titles. Kata says, American Messi to the tune of American Woman. American Messi.
Dun, dun. Hey,
American Messi. This is what I say.
Good beginning song, too.
Sport Shorts.
Might cost a bit.
Sport Shorts says, maybe inside the boot or behind the shield. Los Pelotudos.
Yeah, the balls is basically what he's saying.
Oh. Uh-oh. Richard Greenberg is saying Inter Miami's kind of sounds like the old Chivas USA. You know what we almost were Barca Miami. Remember that? And which would have been a kind of a Chivas USA part 2 time, and this is like Jorge Mas wasn't involved with that, but he is trying to recreate it for sure.
Ironically, isn't that crazy that it turned out that way?
Oh, yeah. The show was called Hard Knocks. I was trying to remember. Tia Lewis is saying Phil Hard Knocks. LM10 saying no coach is going to help this Miami team if we keep Avilés, Gressel, and Drake. And they are the reason Miami is over for this year, showing excellent skill every game. So they're showing excellent skill, but then it's over. I don't know. Maybe just kind of miswrote that. Well, I can't say it.
Well, I think I can see where he complains about Avilés, but Gressel I think was pretty solid, and so was our goalie Drake. Was pretty good.
I'm a big fan of Drake. Calendar. I've said that all year, but when I do, look around before these shows and stuff, and I just start looking around Twitter and just getting an idea of what people are saying and things like that, there's a lot of Drake hate. A lot. And, maybe we just like him because he's our guy, or I don't know, but there is a lot of Drake hate out there for sure. The LM10 is not the only one. Avilés, a lot of people are mad at him. You're mad at him as well. Him laying down on the field in that playoff game did not help. Did not help.
That cost the game. Yeah.
Gressel, look, Gressel was safe as long as Tata was here. Without Tata, who knows? He just might be depth. It might get, pushed back a little bit. I don't know. Eric Thomas is saying, sadly, this team is turning more and more toxic on and off the pitch. Definitely is off the pitch. I mean, we have a lot of this, love-hate with the Messi fans, because a lot of these Messi fans come in here and just say Miami sucks, MLS sucks, and everything sucks. Only Messi is great. And then we get mad about that. And so there's a lot of off-the-field things. And rumors are, yeah, in the locker room, there's some toxicity as well. And that's why having a coach that has experience managing egos is important. And Mascherano's been one of the egos, but does he know how to manage other people's egos? I mean, he's been in the locker room when he's had the ego, I'm sure, right? But that's where I have some issues with Mascherano is exactly that, managing personalities. And look, I always say this: I'm a manager. I manage people. What I do for a living, I do technical kind of stuff, right? And it may look complicated to other people, but when you do it for a while, it's easy. What I do is easy. The hard part is the people. And it's no different whether you're managing a group of individuals to do some design work for you, or you're managing a team. It's still managing personalities. And I always say that, and it's taken me a long time to learn how to manage. Specifically, I manage a group of Colombians that are very different than me. And so I had to learn over years, making a lot of mistakes, how to learn how to manage those personalities. Coach doesn't have the time that I have to learn. He's got to figure it out right away.
Quick.
Jaleel Farid, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, says, I really don't care who is in charge. The issue with the team is they ran a glass cannon strategy where they had no defense but stellar offense. They need to fix up the back line. I mean, everybody agrees with you, but I've been saying this for the last few weeks, and I stand by it until I'm proven wrong. I don't think they're going to spend a lot on defense. I think they're going to, because it doesn't sell jerseys. It doesn't sell tickets. At the end of the day, this is a business. And yes, winning sells, but so does having like a big name player like a Messi, Suarez, a Neymar, right? Those names, and there are more, the big names that sell jerseys tend to be attackers. So I'm afraid. I mean, I would love for them to make a great purchase of a defender that makes sense financially and also has got the legs and the youth or whatever, but I just don't know. I think it's always going to be those young up and comers like Avilés that might be a success, might be a failure, mixed in with a Christoph type of guy. Yeah. Somebody a little older that's got experience, but he doesn't have the legs and he's cheaper. I think that's where they're. I mean, until they prove me wrong, that's where I think they're going to be. Richard Greenberg saying, "Remember, there's an expansion draft." Yeah, well, you know what? In a future show, we'll have to really kind of focus on who we protect. We talked a little bit about it, but we probably should go into more detail about that. Ash Preetam's touching on probably what I was saying a little bit. Defense would be a lot better if we didn't play a suicidal high line and back line stayed back. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said in previous shows that how much, we complain about our defense. How much is that their fault as not good enough players? And how much was it tactics pushed up so far? And like to Ash's point, we push up so high that you're putting any defender in jeopardy. What do you think, Ed? I saw you having a conversation off camera. I'm busting. Yeah, I'm busting. Calling out the person that may not have been paying attention.
You heard the dog go. One of my daughters showed up.
I didn't hear the dogs. I'm busy yelling here, so I don't hear anything but my nonsense.
It was pretty loud. I thought somebody heard, so I was like, give it a piece of bread or go outside. So that's what I was saying. But yeah, totally lost what you were saying. I saw some statistics that they put up. But I had no idea what the guy was talking about, what those statistics meant. But
what statistics? What are we talking about?
Oh yeah, so I'm just the people are putting up statistics about Messi and stuff like that. See if you look on the chat room, people are
there's a lot there, Ed.
Yeah, games and talking about the Galaxy just scoring a goal.
Oh, okay.
So.
Going to the chat. So some of the stats you were saying here, Lucas says something about Mascherano, 41 games with Argentina, 28 losses, and his first job, and without a player like Messi, he will be okay. He might be.
Oh,
He might be.
Yeah, I think they also mentioned what we would be like without Messi. I think we would be okay if we had Jordi Alba, Busquets,
Sure.
everybody except. I think we'd be all right because they were winning without him. They actually did better without him. If you check out the statistics, so I think with the team that we have and without Messi, we'd still be successful. We'd still be in there, making the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah, we were. Look, without Messi, I don't think we break the record of the that we broke.
But maybe not.
But if we're talking about a league where there is no Messi, right? So if he didn't go to another team, because if we went to another team, we're probably getting destroyed by that team, right? But if he didn't go to another team and we kept someone like Pozuelo, we were pretty good. And then imagine if we had Pozuelo and you're putting players around him like Suarez and Jordi Alba and Busquets, we would still be a really good team. So
Right.
that's why, everybody that hates on this team and only supports one player, I don't agree with that, because this channel, these people that are here every week are here because they like the club, and we like the club, and we will be a fan of the club long after Messi's gone. Technically, Messi will probably never be gone because he's going to be an owner. So he's never going away. But so yeah. We would still be good. Would we be the world beater? Maybe not. But so chat saying, oh, Eric Thomas asking a solid question. Does anybody know if Mascherano speaks English? He could.
Yeah, he played in England, if I'm not mistaken.
He could. Yeah. I mean, if you played in England, he may not feel. That's the thing, is like he may feel comfortable. So some of the people I manage, some newly acquired people I manage, they understand English. They don't feel confident in speaking it, right? So I can have a meeting where I could speak at them and they can understand me, but they're not going to give me any real feedback in English. They just don't feel comfortable enough. And so it could be, is he like that or what? Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs saying, Mascherano could turn out to be a genius. Who knows? That is true. That is true.
We'll be the first one saying, my bad, the dude's that good.
Yeah. We're only asking questions. The question is he Phil Neville 2.0? It feels like it, but we don't know. No track record. And that's the issue. I don't want him to get his experience with us. I want him to come to us with experience. Francisco Garcia says he played for Liverpool and he does speak English. Does he speak it well enough where he'll do a press conference in English? I would like that. That's what I liked about Phil Neville. I'll be honest. I don't, your boy here is one language only. Lucas says, I think I saw him speaking English before. All right.
I think he does. I think I've seen him all.
Yeah, like Sports Short says, I just hope he turns out good. We just hope it turns out good. We just hope. But anyways, hey, Ed, one of the things, and I showed this briefly there by mistake, one of the things I did today, oh, you're not here again.
Oh, there we go.
One of the things I did today was I drove down to Miami and I saw some construction going on.
Nice.
So, as I was walking around the stadium, I couldn't help but think about questions like, will Mascherano coach here? Will Messi play here? Who's going to play here? But we will have a construction video coming out in the next few days because I was driving down there. I'm telling you, Ned, I had a busy day. I went to an early movie. I went to a 10 a.m. movie. Saw Gladiator 2. It's a 2.5 hour movie. So I kind of figured timing it right. So get out of that, had lunch with my son. Both of them were with my son, which was a long lunch, a lot of catching up. And then I got to the car saying, I'm not doing it. I'm not driving down there. I'm not doing it. I'm going to make Ed do it. I'm not doing it. And then I looked at my GPS and it said from Weston. I was in Weston. It said it's only 33 minutes away. I said, All right.
Let's do it.
I'll drive down there. It's only 33 minutes away. But so yeah, went down to the stadium and be on the lookout for that video coming out soon. There is some activity. I mean, there was nobody there. It's a Sunday. There's nobody working, but there's stuff to be seen. So it should be a fun video when I do get it out in a few days. I don't understand this question, Kata. Are the animals in yet? What does that mean?
Probably because of the animals that were barking when I kind of disappeared. There was barking. You probably didn't hear it, but they probably heard it.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Eric Thomas is saying, what's 33 minutes, Peter Brown? Well, that's what I said. Now it's 33 minutes to get there. Then I'm there for about an hour to shoot a 5-minute video because it's a lot of walking. And you're going to be watching the video. I complain.
You know what we got to do, Peter? Get one of them scooters and just scoot all the way down. That'd be a cool video.
So, saying that, because I told you that I wanted to make the next video, but this is a bigger commitment. I wanted to make the next video I don't have a scooter, Ed, but I did see quite a few people with those electric scooters riding around down there. Seems to be a popular thing. I do have an electric bike, though. I have an electric bicycle. I bought an e-bike. One of the cheap ones. I'm not that bougie. One of the cheap ones. But I thought I should ride my bicycle to, say, the Deerfield train station, hop on a train, take the train down to Melreese, and then scoot around that way. But I just haven't. I haven't because that's a bigger commitment. That's an all day thing. All right,
that's a commitment right there.
So,
take the wife with you.
We didn't buy 2 bikes.
Oh,
not yet.
Have her right on the handlebar.
Tio Lewis saying, and he's a Chicago fan, saying this week in Chicago was announced in the next 5 years. They're going to have a new Chicago Fire stadium near downtown. All right. Esteban, as we're talking about the stadium here in the last few minutes, Esteban says, Inter Miami season ticket holder prices. Uncle Ed will need to sell his other kidney. He will have to pawn his family jewels. You see that? Oh,
goodness.
Soccer ball?
Good.
So somebody else had asked in the chat.
Nowadays, Peter Brown.
Somebody asked in the chat earlier, what will the ticket prices be like in 2026 in this new stadium? Well, we do know they'll be higher. And look, parking in Fort Lauderdale is like $50-something. What's it going to be in Miami? Everything in Miami is more expensive, right?
$100, Peter?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Sergio is telling me to get a one-wheel. I'll kill myself on one of those things.
We're gonna have to do what we said, Peter. Meet up at Julio's work and go from there. That's gonna probably be the best thing we could do.
Yeah. Eric Thomas calling me out saying, "Oh, Peter Brown, you weren't doing jack anyways." Listen.
He knew.
Listen. I got a lot of yard work to do. I got bushes that need to be trimmed. I like to keep my driveway as white as it can be. I'm pressure washing that driveway all the time. I got stuff to do, Eric Thomas.
See, Peter, they're already starting to talk about the family jewels. I should just sell them. They already have a family anyway, you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs is asking, did they start construction? Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs, have you watched any of our videos? Let's see, what else? Kata is saying, Peter, make a video when you do the train ride to see what we can expect. Oh, that's the plan. That's the plan. If I do this with a bicycle, that's the plan. Is to film, and I'm not talking about doing the Bright Line, because that's a longer bike ride. Where the Bright Line from my house, I would be driving to the Bright Line because that's in What there isn't? I think is there a location in Boca for the Bright Line? There might be.
There
There's
might
definitely
be.
one in Fort
There
Lauderdale.
might be.
But either one is longer than a bike ride. I'm not that far from Boca, but it's not a bike ride. It's a car ride. But yeah, but going to the Amtrak, Tri-Rail, which will take longer, I will definitely film that. Esteban wants me to get the exercise in and saying Peter in rollerblades to Inter Miami Stadium with quite a sighting. Yeah, especially if I wear like the rollerblade like tight shorts, and bright colors. I would look really good there, right?
Oh yeah, that'll definitely.
That'll turn some heads.
It sure will.
What else about the Kata saying Deerfield is closest for me? But Deerfield has a tri-rail, but Deerfield doesn't have a bright line, do they? I mean, because Deerfield's closer to me as well, Kata. So if Deerfield has a bright line, I could do that too. I could do 2 videos. Sergio is saying Boca does have a bright line. And so that's why I'm thinking if Boca has a bright line stop, then Deerfield probably does not. but I definitely could do Deerfield for Tri-Rail. And Tri-Rail will take longer, but it'll be a lot cheaper. So anyways, Ed, I figured that'd be fun to promote that a little bit. And just if anybody wanted to talk about the stadium, we could do that as well. Eric Thomas says, I rest my case, Uncle Ed. About me not having anything to do? I got stuff to do, Eric Thomas.
¿No encuentras?
Se ha comido el chicken.
No, en...
Pollo.
Pollo? Did she say pollo?
Well, yeah,
We're going to get some chicken tonight?
Yeah, they're trying to feed me chicken over here. But actually, there's... I think she's going to bring it right now. Hold on.
What are we getting for dinner? I didn't even have dinner, Ed.
There you go. Hold on. Let's see if you recognize this sound.
This old thing. Oh, that's not the old one. You used to have some old chicken. Oh, that's Hey Hey. I know that chicken. It's Hey Hey.
It's Hey Hey. Got this for Camila. There you go. Because they got what I think you would know, Moana 2's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You sound like you killed him.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
Sounds like you killed him, Ed. Richard Greenberg is asking, hey, isn't 2026 supposed to be the season calendar switch? If it happens, that's the year that they kind of talked about. But the thing is, MLS does everything so slow, who knows if it actually happens. Uh-oh, Ed. Stop choking on the chicken.
Man, they've been talking about the family jewels, and now they're talking about the
choking your chicken. Don't choke your chicken. Francisco, speaking about the stadium, he says it'll be like the Barca Stadium filled with tourists at very high ticket prices. So Ed made fun of this the last time he did a construction video. He said he was doing an imitation of me or whatever when you were doing the walk and talk.
Yeah.
Which for me, I'm ripping off some of the guys I watch from Disney. I watch a guy that does Disney stuff, Adam the Woo. I watch him a lot. He does urban exploring and Disney stuff. I watch him a lot. And he does that a lot. So I'm copying other people. But I did a lot of that. I finished the video with a walk and talk just for you, Ed. And when I walk and talk, I do talk about the fact that where the stadium is located is beneficial to those people that are tourists, Francisco was saying. So being right next to the airport, people can fly into the airport. There's the Sheraton Hotel right there. The team's building hotels. I'm sure there's more hotels around there as well. But I mean, within walking distance, there's at least one. And will be more in the future. It's going to be it being right next to the airport. I know that was not their initial intended area, but it could end up being very beneficial for a team that may cater to outside fans, international fans, right?
If you think about it, Peter, it's perfect because a lot of people who are going to have long layovers. My brother, for example, is coming from Ecuador, on his way to Portland. He's got to make a 5-hour stop over here in Miami. So if he wants to go buy a soccer jersey, he just gets on the train in the airport, and he can walk across the street and he can buy himself jerseys and stuff. Or if they have a museum there.
Yeah. Cod is asking, any idea what the parking will look like? I hate driving by that airport, too congested. I mean, they are building a couple parking garages. In the initial artwork, it has some soccer pitches on top of the parking garages. Who knows if that's what actually happens, but that's in the initial artwork. So a couple parking garages, who knows if it's enough. I'm sure it's going to be a nightmare getting in and out of there. They also gave the city, what I think it was $8 million to improve the roads around there, but they haven't even started that. So that takes forever. Road construction takes forever. So, that stadium is going to be open before any roads work is done. I am sure of it. That's not going to happen quickly. So anyways, more talk about Brightline and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So anyways, we'll check out all that kind of stuff in the future. But Ed, what's happening in the future with the Spanish channel?
I'm not really sure if we're gonna have a show tomorrow. It's because my job's a little hectic, especially now that Christmas is
that
coming.
Time of year.
So, yeah, it's a little tough for me to get out earlier. So we should have actually done it today. I totally forgot to call Marco about that. But we'll try to maneuver it. We'll let you guys know. I'll put it on social media if we're gonna do it.
All right. Esteban, last comment here. It says, Inter Miami fans can park at the Overtown location and walk to the stadium from there. It's funny you say that because I, a long time ago, took the Metro rail from one part of Miami to the Overtown, I think it was Overtown location, to go see a concert at the old Miami Arena. I did that. That's a little freaky there, Ed. Little freaky. On that note, see you later, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for everybody in the chat. You guys make it fun. So thanks, everybody. See you next time.